Welcome back to Wild Drama Stories. Opie writes, "A planned pregnancy turned my husband into a monster. It feels like a cruel, cruel joke. Years before I met my husband, I was in a toxic, abusive relationship that had almost ended my life. I spent years in therapy, bettering myself, figuring out why I accepted that type of love. I stayed single for years, and once I started dating, I made sure to keep an eye out for all red flags. Heck, I even took things slowly when there was nothing but green flags. Thanks to my ex, I was familiar with love bombing. I met my husband at a work event, and things just fell into place. I opened up and explained my past trauma, and let him know that if we were going to date, that it would require a slow pace and patience. I won't say that he was perfect, but he was always kind, compassionate, and cared. We dated for about 5 years, engaged for 1, and married for little over 3 years now. We recently bought our second home together. We both got promotions at work, so we sat down and talked about kids. He wanted a big family, and I only wanted 1 or 2. We agreed on 2, and started trying. It didn't take long, and here I am 6 months pregnant, still working, have swollen ankles and a back that won't stop aching. Other than that, I've been very happy and have what I thought was a supportive husband. 3 weeks ago, I found out that he was having an emotional affair, and honestly, probably a physical one. When confronted with the evidence, he admitted to not being attracted to me while pregnant. I'm a wreck. I haven't gained unnecessary weight. I still take care of myself, even with the morning sickness that hasn't gone away. He's not sorry about it, but he told me that I was being overdramatic when I cried. He is staying with his family until he can find a home to rent. He doesn't want to get a divorce. He's saying after the pregnancy is over, we can go to therapy and fix things. I don't want to. I cannot physically look this man in the eye anymore without feeling disgust. I have a text from him saying that he's my only option because no man wants to date a single mom. I'll be talking to a lawyer and figuring out how to divorce him. I just wanted to vent into the void today. For now, I'm going to DoorDash some nuggets and a Frosty from Wendy's and be okay if I gain 5 pounds from it. Thanks for listening. Reading, I suppose. I'm making an edit because I'm not sure the sub will let me do an update post. I was told I'm not allowed to change the locks due to it being his home as well, and he came over last night knowing there wasn't crap I could do to prevent it. Thankfully, he only grabbed some personal belongings, threatened to take the dogs. He did not, and let me know he emptied our shared account. Part of me rolled my eyes and figured he wasn't dumb enough to do that. And the other part made me make a mental note to check it once he left. Sure enough, our account has maybe $5 in it. He did a transfer, which I'll be calling the bank about and speaking to an attorney this afternoon. Thankfully, my dad taught me you don't fully mix finances, so my savings wasn't capable of being touched. And while it's not a lot, it's enough to pay for the fees over the next few weeks. I don't have any family left, so I think he's doing a power play to make me feel like I'm alone and need him. When in all reality, it's lit a fire under my ass that I don't want or need such a garbage person in my life. Thank you to everyone that's reached out with comments, kind messages, and helpful advice. Let's get some comments with replies from Opie. Please reassure us that you're well on your way to securing a lawyer and 18+ years of child support. Opie replies, I'm spending my day off in bed, researching divorce lawyers and plan to make a few calls. As for child support, we both make right around the same amount, so it depends on if he wants to be father to our child or not. If we do share custody, I won't. If he wants to fully abandon ship, then yeah. And whatever amount will go into a savings account for the little one. And another comment, why do you have to move? Opie replies, we bought our home together, and instead of fighting it out, we'll be selling and splitting assets. Or at least I hope that's how it will be. Plus, I just don't want to be here in this house. It's too big for just a baby and I, plus the dog he just had to have, that's currently curled up in bed with me. And here's another comment with a reply from Opie. Divorce is a very drastic option. It should only be done as a last resort. The fact that people are not willing to put in an effort to resolve issues is why the divorce rate is so high. Contrary to what you've convinced yourself, you aren't Miss Perfect. No one is. There are two people involved in a relationship, so you definitely hold some responsibility for things going sour. You don't actually have proof that he cheated. Emotional cheating, as you call it, isn't cheating. You really must ask yourself why your husband is craving socialization from other females. Clearly, his needs aren't being met by you. This goes back to you not being absolved of responsibility for this. There is more to it than he isn't attracted to pregnant women. Couples therapy would be very beneficial for the both of you. It can help him express himself properly. It will also bring to light your shortcomings. You also need therapy. You clearly haven't properly dealt with your past trauma, which is why you're reacting in a drastic emotional manner. Opie replies, if he apologized and came to me saying, my needs aren't being met, and I'm having the urge to talk to other women, it would have been met with, what can I do to help fix this, and possibly therapy. That's not what he did. So I'm not blowing up due to an emotional affair. I'm blowing the marriage up with how he handled the fallout. He's not sorry. He will never be sorry. And he proved to me what kind of person he is and what will happen when things aren't perfect. Here's some additional information from Opie. Emotional was how I decided to word it, because what else do I call just talking? He was telling a very young naive woman how hot she was, how he couldn't wait to touch her body, telling her he loved her, but then claimed they never met. He would complain to her that I wasn't fun anymore. There were obviously pictures sent back and forth due to the comments, but the pictures were deleted. I asked him about his overtime at work, and he couldn't give straight answers, hence the physical aspect of things. This man went from working maybe 40 hours a week to 60, and I may be dealing with pregnancy, but I'm not stupid. You didn't ask this, but I'm putting it here because people have brought it up, and they may read this comment. I would never expect my husband, or whatever you want to call him, to find my changing body attractive. Pregnancy is weird. I think it's beautiful, but he or others don't have to. What I did expect was him to not call me hideous to another woman or to cheat, especially while I'm growing a life we both wanted. And here's an update from Opie. I wanted to do an update with how many people took the time to send messages, leave comments, and share their own personal stories, which especially helped make me not feel so alone. As mentioned in an edited post, I was not allowed to change the locks on our house due to both of our names being on it. I never feared for my safety. It was more so an annoyance. He showed up to grab some personal belongings, and I thought that would be the most that would happen. It was like he was trying to get a reaction from me. He told me he transferred funds and emptied the account. I didn't believe him until I saw it myself. That was both of our money. So that's been dealt with currently. He showed up the day before yesterday completely drunk, begging to talk, increasingly angry, when I would just ignore him and walk away. It kept increasing, so I went to grab my bag and walk down the road to a neighbor's home so I wasn't alone. He grabbed my arm to stop me, and when I yanked it away, he slapped me, almost a backhanded open slap. The cops were called. I didn't have a mark on my face, so it was a my word versus his. They escorted him off the property, and I'm only now assuming he's back with his parents now. He did throw a fit about the dogs, and does have proof of ownership, so I'm guessing he'll be able to take them. Went to leave to go for a drive to clear my head after everything, and realized 3 of my 4 tires were flat. I know it was him, but I don't have proof. Insurance won't cover it. So going to a tire shop on Friday morning, just another drop in the bucket. As for my attorney, I've had my consult, and I'm waiting for my check to come in for my actual appointment and getting the ball moving on this. There's not any family left, and a few close friends are kept in the loop, but I don't want to burden them or treat them like unpaid therapists. So I think that's why I came back to Reddit. Something therapeutic about just typing it all out into the void. The baby/pregnancy is okay. I've actually lost weight, and the doctor has told me to avoid stressful situations and to take things easy. I'll be calling to see if I can change the locks on the home now, and if not, I'm going to start looking for places. Let's get a comment with a reply from Opie. Good job. I'd consider moving in with a friend temporarily. He sounds unhinged, and you shouldn't be alone. Opie replies, unfortunately, all of my friends are out of state and too far away from my work, doctor, and I was recommended to stay on the property, so he couldn't go after me for abandoning the assets. And here's another comment with a reply from Opie. Is there a way to start divorce on your end before your due date, or do you think that would escalate him further? I'm so sorry for you that your pregnancy turned into this nightmare. Good thing that it started before the baby is here, though. I don't want to imagine going through all of this with a newborn. Do you have a civil relationship with your in-laws? Can you explain to them that their son is putting your pregnancy at risk with his psycho behavior? What if you had to go to ER when your tires were slashed? Sending strength and good vibes your way from Europe. Opie replies, while I would consider it a civil relationship with the in-laws, they are his parents, and in their eyes he can do no wrong. He's an only child, and they have a very, very close relationship. His mother apologized on his behalf, but asked me to put myself in his shoes. They're choosing to wear blinders to the whole situation. With the divorce, that's the whole attorney thing. I've done a free consultation. The attorney and I agreed with the assets and how things are going. It won't be a mediation and will be a long, expensive court battle, knowing how spiteful he's being. They have recommended a police report on any issue to have it filed, to not block contact with him for proof of harassment, and think the best course of action is selling the property and splitting assets. I'd love to focus on my pregnancy and myself, but due to safety reasons, I'm staying on top of legal issues. And another comment. Wait, your savings you thought he couldn't get at? When you mentioned your dad said not to fully mingle, so you had some separate savings? He took that too? The bank has some real explaining to do. Opie replies, yeah, we had a shared laptop, and I didn't think he could get into it, but I'm somehow thinking he managed with passwords or something. I filed a dispute with the bank, and they're investigating it, along with a fraud report at the police station. The bank mentioned, with it being my husband, they may not approve the dispute, so that's why I went and did a report at the police station. And here's another comment with a reply from Opie. Let me reassure you that it's totally okay to lean on friends right now. You'd help them out if they were in a rough place, right? I think it would be wise to ask someone to stay with you in your house for a while, just to have an extra layer of safety. The way your ex escalated and got violent last time is extremely concerning. Do not brush it off as a one-time thing. I don't want to unduly scare you, but it's a fact that intimate partner violence during pregnancy is a real threat to the mom and fetus. You can look up IPV and pregnancy. Please, please lean on friends and do whatever you have to protect yourself. Opie replies, thank you. While I'm trying to do what I can and stay safe, my friends are on the other side of the US. What we're doing right now is FaceTimes and phone calls. My best friend has outright said if she calls and I don't call back within 5 minutes of our setup time, she's calling the police. She also put in for some time off work and wants to come up to help me look at places and just be there in general. I'm not going to lie. I'm struggling in every way possible and I'm scared, but I know I have a support system to lean on. Opie, this is really sad to hear that you were with your husband. You've known him for years But now that you're pregnant, only now you're seeing him for who he really is. Only now he feels secure enough to show you his true self, his true colors. He thinks you're stuck. As he said, you don't have any options. No man will want you because you'll be a single mom. He wants you to feel trapped. He wants to control you. And because that isn't working, that is why he's losing it, and that is why he's getting emotional and angry. But that has shown you very clearly, once again, why you need to get away from him, Opie. And I know you know that, and I hope you keep this determination you have to get out of that marriage. Things will only get worse and worse and worse, so leaving is really the only option. The best option for you is to get out. He thinks that because you're about to be a mom, that basically he can go ahead and do whatever he wants, and you will have to take it. Probably if you stay with him, he's going to say still he wants a second child, and he'll still think that he can go ahead and have affairs. It's just, unfortunately, a mess. I'm most concerned about your safety, Opie. He's already slapped you because he can't control you. He can come into the house whenever he wants, so it's good that you're going to find out about the locks. And Opie, I'm so glad that you and your friend have decided that you're going to call each other at certain times, certain appointed times, and if you do not reply within 5 minutes, she will call the police. Well, that's it for this edition of Wild Drama Stories. Thank you so much for joining me. Leave a comment, give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and consider subscribing. And I'll see you again next time. Take very good care of yourself. Bye.